well done with your work yesterday on brilliantly showing that you've got that general knowledge of your fractions, bringing them together, everything that you've been doing over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and doing really well with it. So great going. Today is going to finish off that fraction unit before we obviously revisit it over the next couple of weeks at school. And it's word problems, because when we're often thrown with fraction type questions at school, we need to know how to do them with the problem format. So here we have a book has 246 pages. Gwen reads 5/6 of the book. How many pages has she read? Now the key here first, as we know with word problems, is find that key information. So it's 246 pages. She's read 5/6, and we need to know how many pages she's read. So what we actually have here is a 5/6 of 246 question. So it links very well with finding fractions amount, which we were only doing at the start of this week. We know the rule is to divide by the denominator, multiply by the numerator. So I need to do 246 divided by 6. Now, I'm going to be honest, from my head, I don't know what the answer is. So therefore, I use a method to help me. And this is where you see in maths things start to come together. So how many 6s go into 2? Well, they don't. If I've got 2, I can't get 6 into 2, so it's a 0. So we have a 2 remainder. Now, how many 6s go into 24? Well, I know that goes in perfectly with 4. And then how many 6s go into 6? 1. So 256 divided by 6 equals 41. So 1/6 is 41. But I need to multiply that by 5, because Gwen read 5/6 of the book, not 1/6. Again, 41 multiplied by 5. Can't necessarily do it at the top of my head. So let's use a method to help us get to the right answer. So we know 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. And then 5 multiplied by 4 tens would give me 20 tens. So my 0 there, but then I have to exchange that 20 tens, because 20 tens is the same as 200. So exchange for my 200, and therefore have 205. So I can see that Gwen has read 205 pages. I can actually tell you she has 41 left. The other way we could have done this is seen with 246, and I could have taken away my answer of 1/6 there, because 1/6 is 41. And if I was to take 1/6 away from the whole, that would give me my 5/6. So 2 different ways, but this is the way any type of this question I'd encourage you to do. So when you've done that, these are your 5 questions that you're all going to be able to go out. Question 1 goes, these diagrams show 3 equivalent fractions. You need to write the missing values and establish what these fractions are. Use the diagrams there to help you. Question 2 is very similar to what we've just had a look at. The book has 276 pages. Amina has read 1/3 of the book. How many pages are left for Amina to read? Just think how many pages are left for Amina to read. I'll just leave that there for you to see if you can get that right. Question 3, this is a diagram of a vegetable garden. It shows the fractions of the garden planted with potatoes and cabbages. So you can see 2/3 potatoes, 1/4 is cabbages. The remaining area is planted with carrots. What fraction of the garden is planted with carrots? Well, think logically about those steps you would have to take first. You can easily work out what area is taken up by potatoes and cabbages, where you've got 2 fractions. You then know this garden would represent by 1 whole, so therefore from that you can work out carrots. Question 4, in this circle you've got 1/4 and 1/6 shaded. So what fraction of the whole circle is not shaded? The approach on this is going to be very, very similar to here. You know what 2 of the fractions are. You know the circle would represent 1 whole. Work out what's missing from there. And then number 5, the numbers in this sequence increase by the same amount each time. Write the missing numbers. So if you remember when we've done this before, we need to find the missing difference here. So you have to go from 1 to 1 5/8, and 1 5/8 to 1/4, going up in the same steps each time. use that knowledge to help you on those. When you've done those 5, you've got these problems to have a go at. So you'll think, you've got your solve, and you've got your explain. So when you've had a go at doing those, we'll have a look at these at 10 o'clock. Obviously, if you have any other questions in the meantime, you make sure you ask. Some of these problems will seem very similar as well, okay, because remember, it's bringing together everything that you've done. What I'd encourage you to do is, because it's the end of this unit, if you have any of those questions that you need to ask, make sure you do. Likewise, anything you're stuck on, bring it along at 10 o'clock and we can make sure we focus on it there and then. Good luck. Enjoy this. It's always fun to put all your knowledge together, and we'll see you at 10 o'clock. All the best.